Well, it's our second bite of the cherry, our second chance to win the big one. Today, we have an FA Cup final, which we've only won once before, to be fair. And then we face the other Madrid, this time Atletico, in a Champions League final. A competition we've never won, but we got to the final of for the first time last year. That time, it was Real Madrid who beat us. But this time, can we go one better? Let's go and get into it and see if we can end what's been a very frustrating season in style. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 145 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We are back today, having remarkably snuck second place in the Premier League, albeit a long way behind today's FA Cup final opponents, Liverpool. We relinquished our crown, but with 78 points, we do become best of the rest, and by 3 points, we make it back into the Champions League for next year. That takes a little of the pressure off Atletico Madrid, which is now just a battle for our first Champions League title rather than a return to the competition next year. Not sure what's going on with the league positions there. It says 17th. Definitely hasn't happened, I can assure you of that. But today we're going to play Liverpool in the FA Cup final, Atletico in a Champions League final. If you're looking forward to it, two huge matches to finish the season, and please do put a thumbs up on it. We've got a little bit of transfer news, but we've got to get to the big games. So let's just quickly talk about what's coming in and about the schedule, and then we'll go and get straight through to it. So coming in, we've got a young player, Toby Roberts, 18-year-old from West Ham United. As you can see, the young player getting released who looks okay. Another one of those that we might be able to raise the profile of, make a profit on, and maybe get 20, 30 million later down the line. We've done it a couple of times, John Nussum being the key example. We're going to try that with him. If we have a look at the schedule, you are with me as we snuck a very undeserved victory at Liverpool in the Premier League, having made it through against AC Milan narrowly to this final. The 3 games since have been remarkable. A 4-1 win away at Norwich, Elmi with a brace, Rakoski and York Robertson with the goals. Great to see Elmi, Fair and Ivanov all scoring this month. That's going to be crucial for these 2 matches. Against Manchester City, we won 1-0 thanks to Teddy Ivanov. It was a game that was pretty low quality. We scored our only shot on target. City only had 2. 0-0 would have been a fair result, but I'm not complaining at the victory. Then on the final day, a brace apiece for Elmi and for Nana Fair. We weren't the best defensively, but we got the win. And now for these 2 finals, well, not so much the second one, but this first one, we've got some concerns. We knew Joe Wills was out for the season, but Herbert and Elmi on the eve of the FA Cup final have picked up knocks. Do I risk them on the basis that we've got a week off after and we want to win an FA Cup? Or do I say, no, you have to play the Champions League final and work a way around it? Don't forget, this season, we've been in the Carabao Cup final and lost it. Last season, we played in every game. We got to the Carabao Cup final, the FA Cup final, the Champions League final. We lost all 3 of them. We are on a hopeless run of cup final defeats. Getting there is no problem. Winning them is a huge one. So let's get through to the fixtures and the first game today. Decisions to make when it comes to these injuries. Herbert, he's returning to training tomorrow. Is he that bad? Why has he got a tight hamstring yet he's got a big purple thing up here? Recurring injury. Oh, what's that? Pectoral muscle. I think he's had that the whole time he's been here, has he? Apparently he's had it about 10 times. There you go. That shows how much attention I pay. I think he might be all right, you know. We've also got Liban Elmi up front. This one's a bigger concern because he has a recurring injury in the same leg. And we also have to bear in mind that there is no Joe Wills. If it goes wrong, it goes big time wrong. We're going to bring Ashley Carr back into the squad. I think I'm going to start them both. And I know that's potentially stupid with the cup final coming around in the Champions League as well. I just think it's the right thing to do. Go as strong as you can. Who out of Marciano and Muscat is going on the bench? I mean, it could be either of them, to be fair. Kivrakidis is brilliant. We've got so many good midfielders. I'm going to start the same 2 in there. I'm going to take out Andre for one of them. And it's going to be, I think, Marciano, just because he's been here longer. Bettini's going to be replaced on the bench by McNaughton. And this, as a result, I think is the squad for today. It is Cusqueta between the sticks in the FA Cup final. Memic and Carlos, the fullbacks, with Herbert alongside Rakoski as centre-half. Robertson and Adamson, the wingers. Torres and Bernberg, the midfield 2. and inform Nana Fair and Liban Elmi up front. Please don't let these decisions haunt me in terms of injuries. Hansen's a good player. He's been at Atletico Madrid before, I think. And of course, we've still got Kara and Ivanov, but Liban Elmi is the only real target man left, and he's finding the form of his life. Let's go and get through to it, submit the team for the cup final, but our risk versus reward decisions really pay off. Well, it's 6 changes for Liverpool, but most of those coming in are regular starters, so I wonder if they've maybe been able to rest people last time out. I guess they would have won the league at a canter already. Have they got any other cup finals coming up? I presume not. No, they went out in the Champions League semi-final to Atletico on penalties. Oh, God. Thank God for Atletico Madrid, because if they hadn't have won that, it would have been Liverpool back-to-back and definitely 2 tots of heartbreak. Let's see what we can do this time. If we play as we did last time, we'll win the trophy. I'm not sure I even believe that, but I'll say it because I want the boys to believe themselves. We've got the old hazy match again. Let's see. There we go. Just reset itself. 4 minutes gone at Wembley. It's a quiet day so far. Liverpool straight on the attack from a corner kick into the near post. Not headed away properly. Ferguson back in. Adamson clears as far as Cavalcante. We're under big pressure here. Into the box to Milisanovic. And it's the man that we tried to sign a couple of years ago. He picked Liverpool ahead of us. He's a brilliant young player who's now becoming a world-class player. And he's not picked up on the edge of the 6-yard box. I mean, there's not a great deal we can do there. If we get to half-time and it's out of sight, we'll take Elmi and Herbert off. But for now, I'm going to try and get back into it with Giancarlos. Don't forget, we've had a Liverpool game before, haven't we? Where we've been 3-0 down and we found a way to win. Everyone remembers that League Cup semi-final. As Elmi picks the ball up to Torres. In he goes, he's 1-on-1. Story of the centre midfielders. And our story is that Ivo Torres cannot score. He puts it straight at the goalkeeper. He's had a nightmare against Liverpool at Wembley before. That back pass from the Carabao Cup last year. And is that a penalty? Elmi's brought down at the back post. Bobby Madley's blown up. Elmi's ready to take a penalty. Referee might have given us a lifeline here. Please, please do not miss this. Liban Elmi, I've put you in despite a knock. You've won a penalty. Now please score it. Oh, it's Nana Fair. That's even worse. He's missed loads. Not this one, no. The big game merchant turns up. Nana Fair with his 20th of the season. When he's fully fit and firing, he's one hell of a player. Elmi wins it. Fair scores it. 1-1. This is not one of our cup finals, is it? Normally, we have a half a game without any highlights and then a sneaky one in the second half. It's 10 minutes gone. It's 1 apiece. Jorg Robertson's now got a knock. We're going to have to be very careful here. I don't want to run the risk of people missing next week. So I think at the half an hour mark, it might have to be Robertson off for Yocolano because he is struggling physically. 10 minutes to the break. Liverpool dominating the stats, but it's 1-1. And according to everything else, that's pretty fair. Liverpool have lost their only player for injury now as well. So 1 injury apiece in this game. There's Marginson on the right. I think it's the right winger for both of us as well. That's inside to Zaire Emery. They just look so much more fluent from open play. They're a really good side. By far the best in the country this year. And you can see those players that they've pipped us to in recent seasons. Your Fergusons, your Mezzers, your Milinasinovic here. They're the ones that are now becoming those young stars alongside the quality players. It's a corner kick for Liverpool. Can we get to half-time? Because I feel that's the first big hurdle at the moment. We conceded from a corner already. This one, not away still. Cavalcante, well done Yocolano. He's back in, he gets it out for a throw. We're clinging on a little bit here. And we're still seeing everything. They've got a throw on the left-hand side. Marconi into the box. And Buckley's got the chance to cut in. Back to Meza. Look at the space. The centre-half goes for one. In off Zaire Emery. I mean, what can you do? We don't make it to the break. They're just the best side in England. And let me tell you right now, I am so glad we're not playing these lot in the Champions League final because they would wipe the floor with us. Half-time, it's going to be 2-1 to Liverpool. Not the best half of football for us there. We're not going to win if we don't shoot. Get yourselves forward and have a go. Straight at the start of the second half. Liverpool corner, headed off the line. Marconi puts it in. It's been such a frustrating season. I can't explain to you how much rage it's given me. We lost every cup final last year. And if we lose against Atletico this next week, we'll have lost all 6 major cup finals over the space of 2 years. If we'd have won even half of those, we'd have created a dynasty here. Oh, he's given a penalty. He's given a penalty. You've got to even it up, Bobby, haven't you? Got to make sure you give Liverpool a penalty. Absolute disgrace. Didn't even look a foul. I'm not even going to wait for it to be taken. I'm just going to take Herbert and Elmi off now. This cup final's gone. The Champions League's the big one. We've lost 5 in a row. Come on, we've got to win one eventually. Adamson's coming off for Vasquez. Torres is coming off for Marciano because he needs a bit of fitness. They're the 5 subs. It's going to be 4-1 to Liverpool. And for the first time in one of these cup finals, we're going to be embarrassed. Milosevic on it, puts it in. We've lost a lot of them. 5 in a row, as it's quite clearly been pointed out in this game. But we have not been embarrassed like this in one of them. A pretty disgraceful effort, this. And with 35 minutes still to go, this risk becoming very ugly and a confidence zapper ahead of next week. We have been in this position before, though. I'm not sure the comeback's coming today. Yes, we did it in the Carabao Cup semi-final. It ain't coming in this one, is it? As Marciano wins it back. Down the line for Yukulano. Finds Memic. Space inside for Rakoski. Bernberg to Hansen. The sub-centre half. Looking for a pass forward. Doesn't have one. So we end up just playing along the back 4. God, it's like watching an international friendly. Marciano just hooks it over though. Ivanov gets in. Teddy Ivanov. Nana Fair. Very good goal. Back in the game. 4-2. We couldn't do it from 3 goals down again, could we? We thought that was the shock of all shocks in that League Cup semi-final. Oh, imagine we did it. I don't think it's going to happen. Look at those match stats. It's horrific. But you score one more here, you never know. Bernberg gets it from the goal kick. Up to Yukulano. On the right-hand side, cuts into Ivanov. Support on the left from Vasquez, the sub. 2 in the middle, if he can find them. Goes alone. Nana Fair. Oh, it's a big miss. Oh, he's put it wide from 8 yards unopposed. Not even worth the goalkeeper. What a stinking finish that is. Look at Milosevic, by the way. Still only 20. Imagine he was in our midfield. The final 15. It is going to be defeat, but we're going to go attacking. We might as well chase the game. If we're going to lose, we might as well go down swinging. 5 minutes to go. It's Liverpool on the attack. And the fact we've opened up now, we could concede more. But instead, we win it back with Bernberg, who gives it straight back away again. That's what the quality passing attributes get you. Great passing, great vision. Only if it's picking out Liverpool players. Bernberg, give it straight away again. Good lads. Don't you worry about keeping the ball. Absolute bottle job. Kivrakidis is starting the Champions League final. Makoni gets it in. Milosevic challenged by Rakoski. Memic gives it away. Will someone keep the ball? It's not a bloody hot potato. Zaire Emery chance to shoot. Goes back to Ferguson. I mean, they're pretty content keeping possession here. They'll wait for the right opportunity. Marginson to Ferguson. This might be it. Into Milosevic. He's put it wide. That's a big miss as well. Fair and him should have both had a hat-trick. Liverpool deservedly are going to win this cup final. It is 5 successive major cup final defeats for us. 2 FA Cups in a row. 2 Carabao Cups in a row. But will it be 2 Champions Leagues in a row? We have the Champions League final against Atletico Madrid next week. I'll take losing all 5 of them if we go and win that one. But if we don't, this season's going to be a failure with nothing to show for it. So let's go and get through the dressing room. It's one of the most horrific cup final runs I've ever had. Let's see if we can put it right. We face Atletico Madrid next week. The Champions League final we'll return for in a minute. Well, here it is. And some of our big decisions have been made for us because Peter Bernberg and Marciano have both picked up knocks in the week. Elmi and Herbert have both made it. But it's as simple as this, and I know I keep banging on about it. We are getting a record and a reputation for losing every cup final, and we have got to change the narrative at some point. Atletico Madrid are our final opponents today, a side that we have beaten in the past, a side we've also had some upset against as well. They've got a couple of original players left, Lakeba and Bitshiabu, but both of them still in pretty good nick. And on the left, Abdi Ibrahim, who we tried to sign from Forest before. But otherwise, it's a team we can compete with. So let's see what the team selection recommends. Bernberg will drop out for Kivrakidis. Marciano will drop off the bench for Muscat. Andre, Vite, and who's going to be sub 12? Should we get young Mikey Magwood on there? Let's do it. Bit of exuberance on the bench. That is going to be our squad. Do we change anything else in the team? The back 4, I think, will stay the same. Torres is a question mark in the middle, but given the fact that the others have picked up knocks, Probably doesn't go from the start. I could chuck Muscat in, but that's a big ask for a player who's only been here 4 months. Adamson on the left has been poor. He does turn up in some big games. Vasquez did well off the bench against Liverpool. Let's reward him. Luis Vasquez will come in for Adamson. They're my 2 changes. The left side of midfield is replaced. Kivrakidis and Vasquez are in. And that means that 9 of the players who were battered by Liverpool are in this team again. But 2 of them, crucially the captain and the star forward, are both now fully match fit. No Joe Wills, who we're going to miss immensely. Having lost 5 major cup finals in a row. Will it be 6 in a row? Will it be 2 seasons of losing every single major final? Let's go and find out. Get your predictions in the comments. No cheating. We'll see if we can pull it off. Well, here we go against Marcelo Gallardo's side. I've just realised at right back as well, they've got Ashley Clifford, who we tried to sign from United before. It's a good team, in fairness. They're a good side, but in a Champions League final, with the greatest respect, a side we've beaten a few times before in Europe and only lost to, I think, once or twice, is the sort of final that you can only dream of. You're not going to get a more friendly game in the final. Should we give you a bit of Champions League music for it? There we go. It's a massive final, isn't it? Let's enjoy the day. I'm hoping we can deliver. It's a massive, massive ask. I don't know where it's being hosted either, but we've got to deliver now, surely. Look at the graphics. The music's there. It's a very exciting night. The second time we've been here, but we failed the first. Are we going to fail again? Why are all our fans in white as well? I don't know. But this is huge. Surely we can't lose 6 cup finals in a row. Eventually, you just have to stumble over the line in one. I say that. We've got a corner to defend, and there's no one marking the short ball. It's played short to Alonso. Back to Lucas. Oh, they've done us. Oh, my God. Someone get me out of here. I'm going to end up rage finishing this save at some point. We cannot lose every single bloody cup final. What is wrong with you? Now Nana Fair's injured. Can you not stay fit for 1 month? Every month and a half, look at it. Just picks up an injury. It's literally just 2 months apart. Injury, December, February, April, June, September, November, February, April. And it's going to be June again. Oh my God. I'm so annoyed. 6 in a row. The achievement, it's that balance, isn't it? We've been to every game 2 seasons in a row. It's an incredible effort. But if you lose every single cup final, has any team ever done this before? Been on for the quadruple into the final of every competition and lost every single one of them? Madness, isn't it? Cusqueta, out to the left to Jan Carlos. To do it 2 years in a row is remarkable, and we've not even got the Premier League title to fall back on this year. As Carlos breaks down the left to Vasquez, it's got to come soon. I don't feel we can go in behind. Carlos back to Herbert, we're being pressed. They know when to stop us. Rakowski, carrying forward, switch out to the right. That's crap. What are you doing? That's just panic. And with Bernberg out today, I thought, oh, we've lost a couple of those players who maybe fold in the big games, but now I need a reaction. Are we going to get it? Robertson down the right after a nice touch from Fair into Liban Elmi. Go on, son. 19th goal of the season. The man who came in from relegated Leeds United is the man who has delivered a goal in a Champions League final. We're back on terms and I can breathe again now. We're still no closer to winning it. And Nana Fair has now officially got an injury. It will be Ashley Carr at half-time. Is this the way that the revival arc returns? Because if Ashley Carr can come and win the Champions League final for us, he might be forgiven for everything. No, Jan Carlos is in. It's offside. Good save, Stankovic. It's going to have to be Ashley Carr over Teddy Ivanov. And now we've got an opportunity. Ask the boys to prove a point. Fair off. Ashley Carr on. Been a dismal second half of the season. He scored 15 goals this year. Don't know when his last one was. Wasn't any time recently. Can you end the goal drought and complete the redemption in a Champions League final? Please. And if we get towards penalties in the last minute, we'll remember to take him off as well, because Teddy Ivanov will be on for that. As Manuel finds Costello into Alonso, not straight at the start of the second as well. It was bad enough at the start of the first half. Don't do it again. Clear to the edge of the box. Alonso, Carr nicks it. Ashley Carr's away. His man's offside, Elmi. Carr goes down the left. looks for Torres, looks for Elmi. Elmi shoots, Liban Elmi scores. 2 in a game, all started by Ashley Carr, deserves big credit for that. No way that's offside VAR. Goal is awarded, we're ahead, and Liban Elmi has both of them. What a 21.5 million relegation release clause that looks like. Because 2 goals in a Champions League final, can you make it a hat-trick? Can you make it a dream? But either way, against the run of play, we've got a chance, but we still can't defend set pieces as Cusqueta gets away with that. The second one was straight at him. Didn't do particularly well with the first. He's got the chance, though, to throw out. And to be fair, it is a team that's had a bit more rotation this year with the new goalkeeper, with a new striker, with Muscat coming in as well. But it still hasn't been convincing, as it's been nicked in midfield by Torres. Up to Elmi. Lovely touch. He's on a hat-trick. Liban Elmi, you absolute legend. Write your name in the history books, because Liban Elmi is ending the drought for us. A Champions League final hat-trick. He's had to be patient this year. Joe Wills has been first choice. He's not always offered the answer, though. Hang on a minute. It's 3-2. God's sake. Defender set piece. How are we so bad at the back again suddenly? I've got to start showing you these records again, haven't I? We had that spell over Christmas, 5 clean sheets in a row. Then we started letting in 3 or 4 a game. We've had the same sort of inconsistency towards the end of this season. It's become, do you know what? It's been a horrible year. As Ashley Carr's in, oh, he can't complete it. Ashley Carr just cannot finish. I do think I've got to sell him. I'll be honest with you. But I don't understand defensively. It's been probably one of the most frustrating seasons of the save, maybe the most, because we've got the best team we've ever had. Crucially, we've got the same defence we had. And we're conceding so many more goals. But the defensive midfield is largely unchanged. The goalkeeper, it says, is playing well. And with just over 10 to go, we're going to make some subs. Vasquez is going to be replaced by Ryan Adamson. Ivrakidis is going to be replaced by Peter Bernberg. And then we're going to take off Ivo Torres as well for Leighton Muscat. That is 4 changes. 5th one will be Memic off for Agyeman. There are 12 minutes to go. Teddy Ivanov, I love you, but I can't get you on for this one. We've got to see out the game, and those changes need to be further back. If we end up in extra time, you'll get a run out. There are 2 minutes to go, and Atletico are on the attack. It's been nicked by Liban Elmi. Don't do something silly now. You've got a hat-trick. Great play. Releases Ryan Adamson. Charges downfield. Support down the left-hand side from Peter Bernberg. He holds it up for Jean Carlos. 2 options inside. Elmi's one. What a game that man has had. Big switch to Robertson. Ashley Carr's in the middle. And Ashley Carr has sealed the Champions League final. Who else but Ashley Carr? It just had to happen to finish the story, didn't it? Ashley Carr has scored the goal that seals it. He's been by far outshone by Liban Elmi tonight. But the final goal that settles the Champions League final. Our first ever Champions League win. And our first win at last in 6 major cup finals. It's Ashley Carr. We get the music again. And this is the moment that we dreamt of from the very start of the save. Lewis Herbert hobbling over. He must be absolutely knackered. But he lifts the Champions League title. What a moment for Southend United. At the second time of asking in the final, we do it here. And after that horror run of 5 final defeats in a row, we get to stand on the podium in the biggest one of them all. 4-2, an unconvincing performance. But Liban Elmi and Ashley Carr take a bow. You are the match winners. The Champions League is in the hands of Southend United. Well, I feel like this win has given us a finale date for this save, because we've got 2 more seasons until we can participate in the Club World Cup, which takes place in 2041. So I think that is going to be the finale date of this save. It gives us 2 more years to win the remaining trophy, which is the Carabao Cup. 2 years to regain our Premier League crown. And crucially, 2 years to keep this club together. And then we can sort of do an Alex Ferguson, can't we? We can leave as most of the key players in the squad move into their 30s and watch it all fall apart once we've left the club. Let's go and get through quickly to the season review. A really frustrating year. Runner-up in the Carabao, runner-up in the FA Cup. Amazingly, runner-up in the Premier League, but a horrid season there. Community Shield winners, that doesn't really matter. Champions League victory, though. The first time in our history, the big one is in the bag. Let's get to the season review and very quickly round off what's been a brilliant end to a terrible season. Well, you've got to feel for Liban Elmi, hat-trick in the final, but doesn't get in the Champions League Team of the Year. Joe Wills nicks that from him, but the big trophy is there, and that's all I care about. We've replaced the Premier League with the Champions League this season. I'll take it. Let's have a look at the signings. Liban Elmi, hero when it mattered. Quetta, great signing in January as a keeper. Muscat will be a good one when it comes around next year. We have had a bit of difficulty with Fabrizio Bettini. He is going to leave the club this summer. We'll offer him out. But we signed him on a free, and even if we get 30, 40 million for him, it's great business. A couple of other younger players came in. Andre played his part. Did a little bit in one game, didn't he, earlier in the Champions League season, but good enough as a backup, if nothing else. Players out, just as a reminder, some of those that moved on. Jude Sadler to Sheffield United, where he's been first choice keeper. I still kind of regret that one. Tazio De Angelis has gone off to Inter Milan. I mean, we are at the stage now where it's just one or two bits of wheeling and dealing rather than overhauls of the squad. Kieran Peacock was the best deal of the summer, 69 million. No idea how he's an England international. He's not as good as Herbert. He keeps getting in ahead of him. Answer that one for me. Loans out. There's a few players that are reaching a decent level. Vite went out and came back very quickly. Joaquin Jimenez, of course, left the club. I think he will get a transfer fee this summer because I'm not sure we can keep him anymore. And Dominik Ivusic is one to watch. He's now become a very good right back. So when Aguiman leaves this summer, he's transfer listed by request. Ivusic will probably just replace him like for like in a squad. We won't need to make a sign-in. Let's go and get through the season results. Terrible year in the Premier League. We saved it a bit late on. We won, 7 of our last 8 matches. But prior to that, God, we were so inconsistent. We were so poor. We just had loads of little spells. That spell of draws in November and December wasn't too bad, but this little spell here was crushing. Champions League, we struggled early on. We didn't win any of those first 3 games. Remember that Inter Milan game was bonkers? That was the one that Andre starred in, wasn't it? But we snuck past Basel, we drew with Eindhoven, then we beat Bayern in the performance of the season. And in the end, we didn't really cruise through any of the games, bar Manchester United, which was a bit of a shock. They had a shocking year. But in the end, we got the job done, and that's all that matters. In the FA Cup, final defeat again. Wasn't the easiest of runs this time around. In the Carabao Cup, after getting past Liverpool in the semis, I was gutted to lose to the resurgent Newcastle under Arne Slot. Community Shield we did win, but that doesn't matter at this point. Ashley Carr gets goal of the season against Bristol City. The biggest win, 5-0 at home to Bristol City, and a match to remember, a 4-3 win at Juventus, away in a Champions League, where we made hard work of it after being very comfortable. Let's get through the finances, which are remarkable. The top shirt sellers at the club, no massive shocks in there. Should be Liban Elmi next year after that Champions League final, if realism is a thing in this game. And we move up to 5-star reputation, thanks to winning the Champions League. That's what the big moment can do for you. Big team of the year, Elmi misses out on that as well. I feel so bad for him, but there's not many shocks in there. Just Acuman ahead of Memic, perhaps a slightly surprising one. Through the accolades, it is a very good season in the end. Any season you win the Champions League has to be a successful one. Signing of the season will be sold this summer. Young Player of the Year is a disappointment. But overall, a very good year for Southend United because we have etched our name onto the Champions League trophy for the very first time. Let's go and have a look at the club vision for next season. Reach the latter stages of the Champions League, challenge for the Premier League title. So we're going to need to do a bit better than this season. But it's still a big challenge for us into our final 2 years. We've got to win a Carabao Cup and we want to gear towards that Club World Cup. That will be the finale of this save now. So let's get through to the end of season competitions just so we can remind ourselves that we are Champions League champions. If you enjoyed it, please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know what you thought of this season because actually in the Premier League, it was our worst performance for years. Probably the best part of half a decade. We've been on that run of losing 5 cup finals in a row. It really hasn't been convincing. Do I need to now try something? Now I've won the big one, change shape, change style, try and work better players in, or just go big in certain areas. I know a lot of you keep saying sign a big striker, but there aren't many about that are better than what we've got. And the only one we had, Dion Kranic, was forced out the club for 170 million. We've not got many options there. So it's not just as easy as spend big money and improve. The only one that has done that this year really is Elmi and Quetta, and they cost 20 and 10 million respectively. If you want to stay up to date and find out how next season goes, whether we can win the one remaining elusive trophy in the Carabao Cup, and subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We're Champions League champions. I'm excited about that. But there's a lot more to come in our Coach's Head Save tomorrow. We're at the final club of the save there as we start off at Sporting Lisbon, a club that has fallen from grace in that save. We're going to try and restore them. We've got a big game against English opposition there in Europe. We're also back on the Twitch channel tonight with another live stream. You can come and follow there for loads of regular content. We always sit and have a relaxing chat too. And the football podcast for championship predictions. This weekend's ones are out today as well. We'll be live streaming there on Friday too. Thank you very much for watching and for joining me for another season. We've finally won a cup final, and it's the biggest one of the lot. Champions League champions, it's got a ring to it. Southend United have reached the big time.